By request, kick-ass facts. The moon! Pew pew pew! The 200 tons of trash on the moon is space junk, abandoned satellites, spent rockets, cameras, but among the detritus on the moon are the ashes of Eugene Shoemaker, one of the founders of the field of planetary science, sent skyward by NASA in a polycarbonate capsule. That's very distracting. Excuse me for a moment. Yeah, that's much better. In the Middle Ages, scientists and philosophers believed that a full moon can cause seizures and influence episodes of fever and rheumatism. Because of the connection between the moon and unusual behavior, the afflicted were called lunatics, or literally moonsick. Shadows are darker on the moon than on Earth. Like the Earth, the moon has a crust that shifts and changes. Moonquakes can occur when the lunar crust warms and expands, or they can be triggered by meteorite impacts. It would take around 400,000 moons to match the brightness of the sun. There is a full moon during every single month of the year, and each one has a unique name. As the moon travels, it rotates on its own axis. It takes roughly the same amount of time for the moon to make the full rotation as it does for it to complete its orbit. This means we only ever see around 60% of the moon's surface from Earth. The part that faces the Earth is known as the near side, and the other side is the far side, or the dark side. China is currently the only country who has ever landed on the dark side of the moon. I don't get this filter. The dark spots on the moon are called Maria, remnants of ancient magma flow that caused the rock surface to appear darker. Maria is the Latin word for sea, so what you're seeing are former lunar seas. The moon is the Earth's only permanent natural satellite. It is the 5th largest natural satellite in the solar system and the largest among planetary satellites relative to the size of the planet that it orbits. The moon has its own time zone, lunar mean solar time, or lunar time, LT. The age of the oldest rock collected on the moon is estimated to be 4.5 billion years old. The phrase once in a blue moon means once every 2.5 years. 1835 was the year of the Great Moon Hoax. The New York Sun newspaper published several articles purporting that alien life had been discovered on the moon. Were it not for the moon, our days would be 6 hours long. One study found that when people experience remarkable sleep when a new moon manifests and the worst sleep when a full moon shows. In the 1820s, the Bavarian astronomer claimed to have glimpsed entire cities on the moon with his telescope. He wrote that lunarians who lived there had sophisticated buildings, roads, and forts. In the 1950s, a Czech doctor found an ancient Assyrian text stating that women are fertile during certain phases of the moon. He based an entire family planning method on this hypothesis, telling his patients that they ovulated when the moon was in the same position as when they were born. An expert on animal behavior reports that hamsters spin their wheels far more aggressively during the moon's full phase. Deer and other herbivores in the wild tend to ovulate at a full moon, and in Australia's Great Barrier Reef, the full moon is mating time for coral. The first time you see a crescent moon for the month, take all your spare coins out of your pocket and put them in the other pocket. This will ensure good luck for the month.